just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
All right. Welcome to Sync Talk. It is truly a pleasure as well as a privilege being here. We're going to talk about the 90-10 principle of synchronicity and purpose in synchronicity. This is a topic that you want to take some notes for, because this is a very, very powerful concept when we understand the power of nature and how it's working on our behalf, as well as when we understand the cosmic cycles that support us beyond the challenges that we see. So let's go ahead and get into it. My name is Neb Taharka Kanishkawak, and I am the founder and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, and also one of the master teachers at the school. And we talk about the law of time concept in whole mind and whole memory abilities to move into more of an extrasensory disposition, a telepathic ability, so that we have control over our own existence versus being governed by others. Does this make sense? So I'm excited to be able to share this knowledge with you, because this is knowledge that most of the time you're not going to see in a university or, institutions of higher learning. But these concepts work, and we're in something we call the new time, right? We have shifted from the information age, being informed, right? And so the problem with being informed is we're not knowing the power that we have out of the form of the body. And so being able to pick up on some of these concepts, and through by ways of enhancing our meditation, we can do things that we didn't think we could do. Like, we can see the future. There's so many powerful things that we can do, but it requires us to pattern our mind a certain way. It doesn't work in the same pattern that shows us how to be less than we are on a spiritual or on a grand level, as it results to the unlimited power that we have within us. So I want to talk about this. The 90-10 principle of synchronicity will change your life if you let it. Okay, our vision statement is to transcend our minds deep into our cosmic memory circuits as we awaken from a deep state of amnesia, in order to move from the information age into the telepathic age of our existence and establish a new world of highly telepathic beings. Okay. This is very powerful to even speak of this in our own reality. Well, some people say, well, Neptaharka, what does telepathy have to do? I have a financial situation. What does telepathy have to do with that? Well, in precognition, we can see, okay, ahead, what is the solution? Okay, we can think of the solution and see, well, how do we telepathically, what is our telepathy telling us, that how do we get to this solution from where we are right now? The first thing is to be honest with where we are. A lot of people, we're in denial. you know I don't have a bad financial position. All my accounts are negative. All my friends I borrow from, but I don't have a financial problem. So you can't fix that. Okay. Same thing with health. I don't have a health problem. Okay. Yeah, but you can't get up a flight of stairs. There's certain things happening that are not correct. So before we can really move into this disposition I'm talking about, we got to be honest about where we are so that we can receive the answer and the instructions that help us advance ourselves. Otherwise, we just end up accepting where we are, even though we know we don't like it, but we find the good in it. Being broke ain't so bad. We start saying stuff like that. We start logically trying to justify why our situation is okay. Who needs all that money anyway? I've already lived out my best years, so why I don't need to work so hard. If I got to do all that to get my health right, then why would I do all of that? Why would I put all that effort? I'm tired. So people will justify logically, a situation so that they can find comfort in it. And the comfort is the killer of progress. Okay. So the concepts that I talk about require a real self-assessment about where you are so you can get where you want to be. And let me tell you what happens. I want to tell you this other thing before we move forward. A lot of times we're in denial because we've been just disappointed so many times. Every time we get excited, we think we're going to advance, and we start implementing this makes sense. And if it doesn't work psychologically, it makes us think, even though you're excited about that, you know that's not going to work right. It's self-talk. How many of y'all familiar with this self-talk? It's self-talk. Even though right now I know what he's saying making sense, I know it's going to feel like you can do it, but something happens when you leave that environment. Now you don't feel like you can do it because all your challenges are waiting right there for you, and that's reality. However, when you have a plan for your challenges, because you can admit this is a challenge, that's a challenge. So now this is my plan to work this challenge so that we can go to heights unseen, right? Not to address the challenges is not going to put you in a position of strength to get where you want to be, because those challenges are going to turn into obstacles on your way to where you want to be. Okay, so this is very important so that you can be inspired from this session and say, you know what, I'm excited from what I'm hearing, but I also know I got some challenges in this area, challenges that area. Let me sit for some answers, or let me reach out to Neb Taharka. Maybe he'll help give me some ideas about how I can alleviate these challenges so I can focus on where I want to be versus where I am. And now we in business. Now we're in a position to do something we couldn't do before. But the reason why, I guarantee you, if you've gotten excited in the past and it didn't work out, you did not address those challenges. You thought they were going to disappear because you excited about something. All right? Because you excited about something and they don't disappear. You got to strengthen your character. You got to strengthen your ability. You got to strengthen your skill set. So when it comes time to deal with something that's a little bit more challenging and difficult, you already got a plan for it. When it shows up, you can say, yeah, I knew you was coming, challenge. I knew you were coming. And listen, this is what I got for you, because I'm already prepared. This is what preparation means. This is what being organized means. I'm already prepared for the challenges that I knew this situation was going to pose to me, versus get blindsided by the challenges. And then when you get blindsided by challenges, let me tell you what happens. It takes the wind out of your sail. And now you can't be excited about where you think you want to be, because you don't think that you have the wherewithal to get past your challenges, to get there. Right? And to try to find a doctrine that don't have no challenges is really unrealistic. There's going to be challenges. Now write this down. The challenges are there to strengthen you. See, you think they're there to discourage you. The challenges are there to strengthen your power, your willpower, to be able to learn the lessons of how to get over those challenges and how to get over there to where you want to be, your goals and your dreams. But you got to have vision. You got to go into this memory, because in this memory circuits from this statement, in these memory circuits is a version of you that has the power to get past whatever's been holding you back. And let me ask you something. If you go into your memory and you find something that is actually helping you get past challenges, why wouldn't you use it? You would. You just need to be a little bit forward thinking and a little bit more proactive. And watch, let me tell you, it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter anything. It just matters that you understand what's taking place. All right, so let's get into a little bit further into this. What is a synchronistic human? It's someone who's able to be multidimensional while being able to unify the energy from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic evolution of humanity, Mother Earth, and the galactic whole. Let me clue you in on something. You know, everybody and everything is evolving but us. AI is evolving. You know, I was listening to some things about the incoming president and wanting to make Canada a state, and the Gulf of Mexico change it to the Gulf of America, and all this kind of stuff. Everybody is making moves, but what kind of moves are we making to advance ourselves? Not look for an entity to advance us. What are we doing to advance ourselves? It requires us to be multidimensional. It requires us to understand the power that we have access to on a much larger level. And when we do that, we can overcome and design our life the way we want to design our life. All right. And so this is what we tend to create in terms of who the synchronistic human is and what it does. And so one of our concepts is how we view time. Time is not a mechanical clock. Time is not a calendar. If you look into the Gregorian calendar that we find, you will find it's a lot of discrepancies, and it's fallacious. It's designed for artificial intelligence and capitalism. And who are they capitalizing on? Who are they capitalizing on? That's why they call human capital. Who are they capitalizing on? You see what I'm saying? And being able to understand that will help you bypass some of the obstacles that unknowingly are not there. So whoever owns your time in that concept, you know, owns your mind. If you change your concept of time, you can change your mind and access your memory. And when you change your mind and access that memory, and you can see greater states of consciousness that can help you overcome circumstances, like make a minuscule, you can change your world because you're going to create your world. All right. So some key points, you know, that I want to talk about. We're going to get into vibrational alignment with the cosmic energy for today. The introduction to the creation format is key. That there's a format through the synchronic order, how nature works, synchronic order, that creates naturally. All right, I want to talk about the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle. And then I want to talk about the 90-10 principle of synchronicity and how you use it to work on your behalf. We're going to talk about abundance versus scarcity. We're going to talk about the declaration to evolve, and we're going to have some closing remarks. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we're in the blue rhythmic storm year of self-generation. And we are in the rhythmic moon, which is the sixth moon. And this moon asks the question, how can I extend my equality to others? That's compassion. How can I help people equalize their situation versus drown in their circumstances? How can I do that? And so you can see we're on the 27th day. This is the 13 moon calendar. So we follow the 13 moon calendar that starts in July. All right. Every 28 days, there's a new moon or thereabout that help teach us how to overwrite the programming that we have to be less than and to help us advance and evolve. So today we're on the 27th day, or plasma, we call it, of the rhythmic moon. And we're the plasma is called Limi, which is connected to the solar plexus chakra. All right. So when I focus on the solar plexus chakra, I think about am I willing to do? How is my willpower being used or exercised? Okay. And so with that statement, my willpower is combining with this energy of the kin 185. Now the kin numbers is off of a 260-day calendar, and the kin numbers represent the 260 expressions of the creator. So this plasma we're talking about, Limi, is activating this expression to help us remember something so we could be more powerful and more dynamic than we already are. All right. So we're in the 27th plasma. We're on the fourth heptad where power ripens fruit. So we're gaining our fire. This is a ripening period for us wherever we are. All right. The affirmation for today's kin 185, the red electric serpent, states, I activate in order to survive. Bonding instinct. I seal the store of life force with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of universal water. Now we say this 3 times to imprint it in our mind and in our heart and radiate it out into the cosmos. So we activating. Now we're activating, and I want to tell you something. What are we activating? Well, we're in the blue night wave spell, which is a cycle of evolution. And the blue night wave spell deals with abundance. So you activating your abundance so you can survive this situation that you're in, so you can create a new norm. So I activate abundance in order to survive, bonding my instincts. I seal the store of life force, the power of the life force, with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of universal water. One more time to lock it in. I activate in order to survive, bonding instincts. I seal the store of life force with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of universal water, which is a cleansing, which is a purification, so the purified energy can flow and galvanize us. It states, I am a polar kin. And in this expression, I established the red galactic spectrum of initiation. Okay, so that's very different than, hey, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, right? Then after hump day, what? It's thank God it's Friday. And then we're living for what? The weekend. I want to take you out of that paradigm long enough to just see the dynamic things that can happen if you opt out of that program and get into this paradigm for a little bit, and you'll say, wait a second, what have I been missing? Wait a second, I'm accessing thinking processes and I'm accessing powers I never have been able to access up until this point. I need to go deeper into this. That's what's going to happen. But you got to realize I need something different so I can access something different. All right. So on the 260-day cycle, this is what it looks like. So look at this. This is what the calendar looks like. We follow the Galactic Maya and the Olmec calendar because it's a calendar that helps us spiritually evolve and access our cosmic memory. Now, why do we want to access our cosmic memory? Because those are where all the extrasensory powers are, all the untapped psychic abilities, and all of the telepathic abilities are. And so scientists say that we have over 100 million years of memory stored in our brain like a computer. 100+ million years. And here's the sad thing that I see is that we're only accessing about 100 years because we're putting all our thought process, or what's doing the thinking for us is what? These smartphones. The smarter the phones come, the less evolved we become, or the dumber we can become, because we're not thinking about nothing but what the device is showing us. So artificial intelligence is evolving, but how are we evolving our mind? We have to use the human technology that we already have that many of us may not be aware of, so that we can create the same effect, the same evolutionary effect that technology is evolving from is the same effect that we can evolve from. But the time to evolve is now because there are moves being made. And let me tell you, technology, when we become so dependent on it, and we are very dependent on it, is going to force our hand if we don't have another plan. Okay, so you can see the serpent is right here. It's highlighted in green, and the electric tone is on the right. And so we're on, you could just find 185 on here, which is in the red. And this is where we are on the calendar. Now, we teach why this is significant in a lot of our classes to access memory. Okay, but for right now, I just wanted to show you a picture of what we're tapping into so that we can become more powerful before we approach our goals, before we start working on our character, before we start developing our skill set better. Okay, so also I want to talk to you about the creation format that every 13 days, right? There's a new cycle of evolution and it creates a new creation format. So every 13 days, the first thing, and what we're going to talk about today is purpose. You can see it's 13 stages where thoughts turns into things. This is the key to how they built the pyramids. This is the key to immortal architecture, immortal agriculture. This is how it's done. It's done in 13 stages. And when you understand how these 13 stages work, you can create anything that will last longer than the artificial machines and everything that create. That's why the pyramids are still standing. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we're not going to talk about all of these stages, right? But each of these expressions of the creator is showing us a creation format to help support us where the nature and the power of synchronicity is going to work on our behalf. So right now we got identify the purpose. So right now, think about the number one thing that you're doing and think about what is the purpose? Why am I doing it? We used to say, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. But I want you to go further. The most powerful force in the universe is purpose. Without purpose, none of this would exist. Without purpose, you wouldn't even have a choice. Right? So I want you to really hone in on what is the purpose. You may not even know your purpose right now, but what is the purpose of you doing X, Y, Z? What is the purpose of you on your job? What is the purpose of your marriage? What is the purpose of the school that you're sending your children to? What is the purpose of you being on this call? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Because you are in a very powerful position when you understand what the purpose is. Now you can do what's necessary to make it into what you want it to be. All right. So purpose. All right, we're going to talk about, so every creation form, right now we're on the third step with the serpent, how to identify service. But before we got there, we identified the purpose. So we had to set goals, identify what's going to challenge the purpose. Let me go back. Identify what's going to challenge the purpose. But see, if you know the challenges up front, what can you do? You can prepare for them so they're not a challenge when they come. So when the challenge comes, you say, yeah, I was already ready for you. I trained, I practiced, I already set up logistically how I was going to get past this if it happened. So now that it's happened, that's why I'm saying bye-bye challenge. And now the challenge, you mastered the challenge becomes your gift, right? What is your purpose for the things you're doing? And a lot of times we like the blind leading the deaf. We just doing what we seen the next person do, or we just doing what we think we got to do to get by, or what we need to do to make money. I know that, but find a deeper purpose and you will find excellence. You will find energy and you'll find support from the universe that you never got because you're going into a deeper level of why you're putting your time and energy into it. All right. All right. So I want to start with, now we talk about purpose, the 80-20 rule. This is about efficiency. So the 90-10 rule is very similar to the 80-20 rule. What the 80-20 rule states is that 20% of your tasks will dictate 80% of your results. I know this to the nth degree, that 20% of the people on your team is doing 80% of the results. The other 20%, right? The other 80% is only producing 20% of the results, the real results that you're getting. So who do you need to focus on? Do you need to focus on the 80% that's producing the 20% of the results? Or do you need to focus on the 20% of the leaders that's going to produce and that is producing 80% of results? See, my emphasis is to focus on leaders. One of the things that you must do before I even get to this 90-10 rule of synchronicity is you need to know how to allocate your time. A lot of times we spend 80% of our time trying to give the 80% of people who only producing 20% of result hope and show them you can do it. Listen, you can be a leader. You know, we all should be able to design our life, and you could do it. You could get past this challenge. You could do this. And so we become a therapist for people who are producing the less results. Now, I'm not saying that we need to negate them, but I'm saying it's a huge mistake if you take and spend all your time with people. You're making a conscious decision not to achieve. You're making a conscious decision not to make your goals. If you're going to try to get people to do something more than they're already doing, they made a decision. I'm going to do only enough to get by. On the job just pays you enough so that you won't quit. And we only work hard enough, this group, so they don't fire us, right? But that's the people that's producing 20% of the results, 80% producing 20% of the results. And those are the people that's going to get cut if there needs to be cutbacks. But what I'm saying to you, if you move into the 20% category, where you say, you know what, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to focus on excellence. I'm going to sharpen my skills. I'm going to find something I really like, and I'm going to develop. I'm going to be purpose driven with it. Let me tell you something. Not only are you going to put 80% of the results, but you're going to make yourself indispensable. You need to understand the qualities of making you an indispensable being in this experience. And you always going to have opportunity because you got skills. You see, I always tell people, I got skills. I got organizational skills. I got sales skills. I got business development skills. I got a mouthpiece. So I'm going to always be successful. I developed the skills of being able to handle adversity. So I'm going to last longer than the first person. So I'm never concerned or worried about what I really can do in the grand scheme of things, because I already know I'm a 20%er that creates the 80% of results. In fact, I lead the 20%ers that's going to produce 80% of the results. So I got to be that and more. Right? So I'm saying this because when we're talking about how you function in getting things done, now I do have a plan for the 80% of people. It's called group time. See, personal time goes to the people that are going to, they're going to help me get to the goal. They're 20% of people, they're going to help carry the load. They're not going to become the load. So those type of people I give my personal time to. All right, throughout the day. But if I'm talking to somebody who becomes the load or this only going to do just enough to get by, you never know what can inspire them to want to go further. So we have group presentations, group trainings for those individuals, and they see something that inspires them, they might take it to another level. And once you inspire, you don't get tired. You could do things you couldn't do before. Okay, so I want you to know we don't leave I'm talking about how to allocate your time, right? Because we don't leave those individuals behind, but we have to. How are you going to move forward? You have to have a purpose, a vision statement. How are you going to be able to be effective? Well, you're going to have a plan. This is part of the plan that I'm sharing with you, is how to allocate your time. So a lot of people are not successful because they're spending all their time with the people that are whining versus the people that are winning. And so that's all relative, what you call winning. All right. But it's very challenging. I always say it's easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. Okay, so this is important because if you're going to listen to what I'm sharing with you, you got to be thinking about more than just the concept I'm sharing. You got to think about how's your life set up? Who am I spending most of my time talking to? What are they talking about? Are they talking about their problems? Are they talking about how this happened, how that happened? Does it sound like a victim conversation? You have to be real about this. And if it does, during your peak time, you can't talk to them. You're gonna have to say, I'm gonna have to talk to you later. Because right now I'm on purpose time. Okay. And I'm focused on this purpose like never before. I'll get back to you, but I got to get this done first. And then you circle back to them and still show compassion. But the order in which you do this is very important because they will suck up all the time and the energy, and you won't have the energy, even if you got the knowledge, you won't have the energy to do what's necessary to reach your goal. And that can be a very diminishing feeling because you have the knowledge on how to get to it, right? You paid the price already, you've already sacrificed to get to it. But a lot of people say, well, why haven't I gotten to it? Because you are spending your time with the wrong folks. And the people with whatever you're talking about on the phone or whatever you texting back and forth, you have to ask it, is it helping you reach your purpose or support your purpose? Or is it taking away from it? Oh, it's taken away from it. Okay, so I need to stop texting right now. And I need to talk to them on my free time when I don't have anything to do. That's what you need to do. All right. Some of y'all going to take what I say seriously. And just from what I'm saying, you're going to change your financial position. Some of what I'm saying to you, you're going to change how you now are taking care of your body. Some of you, what I'm saying to you, you're going to be a better father. You're going to be a better mother because of what I'm telling you. Because that is what is going to create fulfillment. All right. So this 80-20 rule, this is one of the things that I got very familiar with, and I knew how to organize my time. I didn't give my personal time to people that wasn't going to help me reach the goal. I gave my personal time to the people that were amped. Or if I didn't have those people, I was spending my time, 80% of my time, finding them or talking to them. If I found them, I'm talking to them and we making plans and we making moves. If I don't have them yet, then that's what I'm looking for. So if other people are calling me, hey, wait a second, I'm looking for some folks to help accomplish this mission, I'll hit you back. Okay, because it's so easy to get distracted. And I like to talk about practicality. I can share a concept with you and inspire you, but if I don't tell you the pitfalls, if I don't tell you how to handle the challenges, I'm sending you bear hunting with a switch, and you're gonna get mauled. I'm telling you, and you're gonna say it's another thing that I tried and didn't succeed at. And it's where's your energy gonna go then? Down, down, down. All right. All right, so now that we talked about the 80-20 rule, let's talk about the 90-10 principle of synchronicity. Now, this is something that's beyond your physical abilities. This is the power of nature. When we talk about synchronicity, we're talking about the power that gives nature its ability to happen. So certain things happen naturally. Let's talk about that. The grass just grows. No, nobody sees the grass straining to grow. The trees, they just get tall. The flowers, they what? Bloom. So what makes it just happen? Your heart just beats. You don't have to beat your heart. Its nature is to beat. You don't have to say, wait a minute. We're on this session, the 90-10 principle of synchronicity. Let me tell you something. I need to take time to put air in my lungs, like I'm putting air in a tire or something. You don't have to do that because the power of synchronicity, right, and your autonomic functions, right, it's just like nature. It just happens because that's its purpose. It's the purpose of the lungs is to what? Get air into the body, to get oxygen into the body so that oxygen can get to the brain, so the brain can remember the consciousness that helps it be a physical being, a spiritual being, and an energetic all in one body. So when you understand this power of synchronicity, that all these planets, all of this cosmos is designed, every time you have a thought and you align purpose with it, all of this is working to help you through your willpower to focus. Remember, I said we on Limi, the solar plexus chakra. Now, when you focus, you got the power of synchronicity of the galaxy, the universe, the cosmos working towards your evolution. That's why you can't lose in this process. But a lot of times we have doubt. And I always say 1% doubt and you're out. Can't do it. Right? So now let's look at, so where's the other 10%? So the 90% is the power of synchronicity is working towards a purpose. So when you don't have nothing, when you don't have a purpose, then you're just working by yourself and you're using all your energy with no backing from the universe, really. No backing from the power of synchronicity. And you're going to what? Run out of gas. But let me tell you something. When you have a purpose and you stand 10 toes on the purpose, that 10% purpose becomes your focus 90% of the time. And so what happens, the purpose has a magnetic field, watch this, that attracts resources that are synchronistically aligned with its transcendence and attainment. So that purpose transcends itself from a spiritual ideal into a physical form. That's what transcend means. Go beyond where we are. Go beyond our physical self. Go beyond a concept, right? Into a framework. Go beyond a framework into a model. Go beyond a model into automation. So when we transcend ourselves, we're going beyond the limitations that we created. We're expanding our consciousness and we are evolving our consciousness. So let's go back through that again. Purpose has a magnetic field, extremely magnetic, that attracts the resources, the people, the places, and the things that are synchronistically aligned to help you transcend yourself, go beyond your situation, and to attain that purpose in its physical form. Now, what do you think the grass is thinking if you don't think it's true? The grass is saying, my purpose is to grow. And the power of synchronicity and from the sunlight and the nurturing of Mother Nature in terms of rain and the soil grows it effortlessly, and you can't count the number of blades. I told my granddaughter one time to go back out there. Well, she was saying she was bored. I said, okay, go out in the backyard, and I want you to go out there and count every blade of grass, and then come back and tell me how many. And she came back after 10 minutes. She said, Papa, it's impossible. I can't count no more. And that's how abundance is. You shouldn't be able to count your money. You got so much money. You shouldn't be able to count how healthy you are. You shouldn't be able to count the number of companions of destiny that's working with you towards something greater than where you are. You should be able to count you got so many. You see? So purpose. If you have purpose, and I tell you, I talk about the levels of motivation, and a lot of people are motivated by money, but it's the lowest level of motivation, because if money motivated everybody, everybody would have more money. But there are people who put money down. Hey, I'm gonna get the bag first, and then I'm gonna do everything else second. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just ain't the highest frequency of attainment, of motivation. Then the next one is personal gain. Like I get a certification, I get a degree, and I get to get some kind of recognition. So I'm doing what I'm doing for that purpose, right? Then the next level after personal gain is personal conviction. Like you convicted in the spirit. You got inspired by somebody. It's sad to say, some people get inspired at a funeral. When they start talking about somebody's life, you could get inspired in a session, a training session. You get inspired in a church or a mosque. You get inspired by a message in a text. But whatever happens, you become convicted in the spirit. And now you are going for this because spiritually you are aligned with it. That's very powerful. That's the next level of motivation. The next level of motivation is duty. Once you get to duty level of why you're doing something, you can't be stopped. It's my duty to do this. Well, you're going to wake up and do it when you're tired. You're going to wake up when you don't feel like it, you're going to do it. When all the odds are against you, it's your duty to do it, and you're going to do it to the best of your ability anyway. Duty is the fourth level, right? And the highest level is purpose. When you know the purpose and you know it's your purpose to do this, you will die for it. This is the reason for your existence. So the more you find purpose in everything that you're doing, the more successful that you're going to be, the more energy you're going to receive from the universe, the more ideals are going to come into your mind, the more instructions are going to come, because the mind of the cosmos is saying, I'm looking for someone that has the focus to carry out these instructions and create this unmanifested ideal into a material manifestation. Okay, so now when we look at this equation, you know, the 10 and the 90, right? 90% finding purpose, circumstances, problems, illness, and bills. So people are dealing with more circumstances, problems, illnesses, and bills, and that's what they spend 90% of their time focused on. So guess what happens? That's what comes into place. That this purpose is to get you to complain. That the purpose of these things is to get you down. All right. And so what happens is it flips. So only 10% of the synchronicity works in your favor, because 90% of you're finding purpose in circumstances that you're undesirable with, problems that you don't think you can solve, illnesses, and bills. So we have to be careful, because the more we focus on those things, we're using the 90-10 principle of synchronicity in reverse. And so this is why we become stagnant in our life. So we flip it from the 90-10 principle to the 10-90 principle. And this is what most people, and I'll say 90% of people are experiencing. They're experiencing the 90-10 principle of synchronicity in reverse, because of what they're focused on, and they have no purpose. They're finding purpose in situations that they don't want and can't have. All right, so be careful with that. Remember, every time you're complaining, what is the purpose of me complaining? And your subconscious mind is going to say, to give you more problems to complain about. It's going to give you a purpose. The system, right? The matrix is going to give you, right, a job instead of a purpose, because they need to occupy and use your energy. But boy, if you say, wait a minute, but I'm gonna be, instead of the 10-90, I'm gonna go back to the 90-10 principle of synchronicity. And what I'm gonna do with my synchronicity, I'm gonna develop the purpose, and then I'm gonna focus that purpose on the power of synchronicity, the power of abundance, the power of prosperity, the power of gratitude. And gratitude is gonna what? Has in it attitude. A great attitude is gratitude, and you can accomplish everything. Attitude is everything. What they say? We don't sweat the small stuff, because it's all small stuff. All we got to do is focus on what it is that we want, and the plans will come, and we got to carry out those plans. But the plans will come. So identify purpose. You know, now you may not even know your purpose. If you don't know your purpose and you listen to this, message me. I help you quickly identify your galactic purpose, because your purpose goes with you. Couldn't even become a physical being without purpose. You couldn't get here without purpose. So many people spend their whole lives looking for purpose. You couldn't get here without one. Okay, so know the purpose of what you're doing, and focus on the outcome. Don't focus on the challenges. Because if all you do focus on, being able to identify the challenges so you can make a plan to get around them, knowing you're going to get around them, but focus on the synchronicities that are working on your behalf. And I'm telling you, it's going to show up in who you talk to. If you're talking to people that's not talking about abundance and prosperity and gratitude, you're talking to the wrong people on a daily basis, and it's going to be very difficult for you to reach your goal. All right. Look at a seed. A seed or acorn already thinks it's a tree. In the seed is a hologram energetically of a tree. And with nurturing, it's going to become this tree. Isn't that powerful? The seed already knows that it's a tree. So what's the difference between that and us? It knows its purpose is to become a tree. So what's wrong with the human? The human was born to win, but now programmed to fail, programmed to expire instead of inspire and become an evolved human that advances into memory, that advances this world in a different way through spiritual and human technology, right? And that's what creates greater balance on the planet. That's what supports Mother Earth, which is supporting us. So it's amazing that all the seed has in it, and all the seed of a sperm cell has in it the purpose to be able to activate and fertilize, the egg, right? And then now there's a whole being that can come out of that physical being. So imagine the power that's in that. Imagine the power that is in you when you're able to create purpose for yourself in terms of the things that you're doing, right? And so here's the thing, some things I want to go over with you really quickly when we talk about abundance, and we're talking about this 90-10 principle, that there's a scarcity mind and an abundant mind. Let me tell you what the scarcity mind, this is stuff you don't want to be thinking about if you're going to operate in this 90-10 capacity. Scarcity, not good enough to go round. Abundant, more than enough to go around. Scarcity, I need to make sure I look good if I'm to succeed. The abundant person says, if I succeed and you succeed, we all succeed. All right. Scarcity, I can't afford to do X, Y, Z. Right. The abundant, how can I, or I can afford to do instead. What about scarcity? Reluctant to contribute and share information, resources, and time. Okay. The abundant person thinking is open to collaborating and sharing what is required to what? Accomplish the mission. Let's look at another one. I have all the answers. The scarcity mind has all the answers because they're only dealing with a small part of what's going on, right? And then you have the abundant mind. I'm willing to learn from others. It was interesting. My 31-year-old son was sharing with me some things he was having success with. He said, Dad, I'm telling you, I know you probably know a lot of this stuff, but I just want to share this with you. And I listened to him. I was inspired. He shared some stuff I didn't know, but I was willing to learn from him, right? Scarcity promotes only self and accomplishments. Abundance promotes others and their achievements. Scarcity person mindset dictates and micromanages. The abundant person has openness and trust. All right. So we want to move to the abundant side. The key to turning lack thinking into abundant is to restate the thoughts into a positive outcome and behave according to the desired results that you want. Let's go over that again. The key to turning lack thinking. So you know if you got lack thinking or not. You don't have to say, hey, I have abundant thinking and you really don't. It's not necessary. The key to turning lack thinking into abundance is to restate, wait a minute. I do have access to some other resources that can help me accomplish this. So you restate the thought or thoughts of what you're saying into a positive outcome. How can I see this into a positive outcome? And you keep asking that question until you see it positive. All you need to know is that it's possible. And then once you see it's possible and you see it, you seize it by behaving according to what you want the desired result to be. Right? If you want to have the healthy lungs, you might have to stop smoking. Right? If you want to have a healthy liver, you might have to stop drinking. You might have to start exercising if you need to lose weight. You have to turn it into a positive outcome and behave accordingly. Okay? And so let's just look at some ways that we could do this. Let's just say you got an unexpected bill and don't have the money to pay it. Right? Right now. Man, I just got a bill and I don't have the money to pay it. Okay, no problem. All right, but guess what? I got an opportunity, right? I may not have the money to pay it right now, but send me an opportunity so I can create the money to pay it. Can I do that? Yes, there's many opportunities out here if we're willing to humble ourselves and do it. Let's look at another situation. I have access to cover this bill and any other unexpected. Oh, here's the outcome. This is how you restate it. Let's go back. Okay. I got an unexpected bill and I don't have the money to pay it. Now, if you stop there, you're gonna get some more bills that's coming real fast in the mail, just like that one, right? But instead, you say, "Hey, I have access to to what covers this bill and my other unexpected expenses that may come. I have access to cover it." Okay, just by saying that, you disarmed the negative. Let's do another one. My child won't listen to me and thinks that I'm the worst parent. No, you probably think you're the worst parent because you have your own expectations of what you see yourself to do. Your child, kids spell love Time. Quality Time. They don't spell it Money. They want you to teach them how to become better, right? This is a great opportunity to show patience, become a better parent, and really get to the bottom of this issue. That's what the abundant parent is thinking. That's because the purpose is to find a solution. Ashe? Yeah, right. Let's go back. Instead of saying my child won't listen to me and thinks I'm the worst parent, the parent with the right attitude said this is a great opportunity to show patience, to become a better parent, and really get to the bottom of the root of the issue. Isn't that powerful? Let's go next. So, what negative thoughts do you have that we can turn into a positive? That's why we having this session. The purpose of the 90-10, the purpose of Sync Talk is to talk about things that can help move people closer to purpose and their capabilities to design their life versus have their life designed for them. So, what negative thoughts do you have that we can turn to positive? And don't be afraid to say something, because if I say something, everybody will think I'm negative. Everybody has negative thoughts at some point, even if they tell you they don't. Right? So you gotta look at where you are and where you want to be and say, wait a second, I can do this. What honestly negative thoughts do I have? You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you one that I have, because I talk about calendar change, because I talk about the mind. I said most people, they're not going to be interested in that. I don't know that. I see a lot of people on TikTok and different things talking about the calendar really doesn't start January 1st. I see a lot of people that want to evolve. They're just looking for a system. So instead of that, saying, hey, I just hadn't found all the people yet, but they're out here and they're seeking what I have, and I'm seeking them the way they're seeking me. Right? But sometimes you can get discouraged when you're doing something where you're swimming upstream, or you're doing something unconventional that people are not accustomed to. And sometimes it easily can jump in your head, right? And we have to have a mind closed tightly against opposition. Sometimes I have those thoughts and I have to check myself and say, wait a minute. It's not, first of all, everybody don't have to do it. It's only a few people that do it, and they're going to evolve their mind, right? And they're going to be able to go places they weren't able to go before. And they're going to be so glad that they got a hold of this. So you want to be thinking about this. So tonight, if you guys don't have any right now, right, you want to be able to put in here exactly what negative thoughts you've had. So that you can put something in place. So we have the RBG on IG that says, good stuff. I'm a morning person. So this is too much information at this time of night. However, I'm going to go back to your video in the morning. Okay, great. So when this person comes back, I'm gonna say, great. Now the assignment is what? Identify some negative thoughts that you have that we can turn into a positive. And if you have a hard time doing it, go back and look at the examples I gave, and even message me and I'll help you. Because that's where it starts. If we don't help you get into a positive mental attitude, they call it a PMA, then I can show you how to evolve and learn telepathy and everything, but your own mind is going to disarm you and create blockages so you can't get where I'm telling you you can be. That's what it's going to do, right? So this is powerful. When we have a positive mental attitude and we add the power of purpose and synchronicity, the 90-10 principle of purpose and the power of synchronicity, working on your behold effortlessly, and you see your accounts growing like grass grows and multiply, and it's so much you can't count it. You got so many friends and companions of destiny to encourage you and to help you and support you for your purpose. You can't count them. You got so many good attributes in terms of your health that you can't get an illness, you can't get a disease. This is why we're having this conversation. And guess what? You can do it. We can do it. And we can all evolve together. All right? So, even though we talk about some outlandish things in terms of our thinking and our abilities, uh, we can all evolve together. Want to make some announcements tomorrow night. If this is intriguing you, I encourage you to get into our new kin orientation to learn about your galactic purpose and learn how to use what I'm saying and expand it and take it to a whole nother level. Okay, so this is our fourth class. We opened it up for everybody to jump in on it, and it's going to be incredible. I'm telling you, we are going to show you another tool to help solidify not only your purpose but how to carry it and take it with you everywhere you go. All right, so that's going to be and it's going to be on StreamYard again. So look out for it on social media. If you're in our database, you will receive an email on this. And definitely, it's a great opportunity to invite people to a new paradigm that will help them overwrite the programs that help them be in a limited version of themselves. All right. Then this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have something called Amplify Your Purpose While Living in the New Time. So you're welcome to join us. So this is going to be in our Adobe Connect platform. It's going to be on Kin 189, the red resonant moon. And we're going to be talking about the flow of abundant energy and how it heals. You're going to love this. Okay, because these are things, when you have your spiritual life, when you have your ability and understand how the mind can evolve through this memory, this field of memory, there's nothing that will stop you. There's nothing you can't create. And you're ungovernable unless you're governing yourself. You don't need anybody, anything governing your mental. Right? All right. So you're welcome to join us on that. And then next Sync Talk, we're gonna talk about my favorite topic in all the classes that I teach, remembering the hollow mind perceiver, the whole mind, and how it works and how it changes your perception and how your perception can change your reality so fast when you're operating with the whole mind and not just parts. Okay, so we're going to be right back here next Wednesday on January the 15th at 8 p.m. right back on Sync Talk. It's going to be powerful. So you want to come and you want to invite some people. This is different. This is a different perspective, but now we need something different. We don't need something stronger that we're putting on ourselves, on our neck, so that we can't advance like we really want to. And then join us for our fast. We're doing a 28-day cleanse starting on Friday, January 10th through February 6th. We do it every year. It is in the middle of the 13 moon calendar. It's the 7th moon, the moon of attunement. And, participate with us in our purification process. We cleanse the body, the mind, and the spirit, and reach the next stage of our journey of remembrance. It's going to be powerful. And every year it is. We've been doing it 9 years straight. So it's very powerful for you to participate. And this is a time when we have our classes starting on the 17th. So some of you will be going through this fast while going through the class, and it's going to completely transfigure your mind. And you'll never be able to go back. So let's end with our declaration of remembrance. All right. I'm going to say I, and then say your name. Say it with me, and then repeat after me. Okay. I, say your name, Neb Taharka, hereby declare that I will, right? I will make evolution my number one priority. Make evolution my number one priority. I, say your name, hereby declare that I will clear up any karma associated with my existence once revealed. I will clear up any karma associated with my existence once revealed. I, say your name, hereby declare that I will discover, carry out, and become my purpose once it's revealed to me, right? I say your name, hereby declare I will remove any judgments that I have of myself and others. I say your name, hereby declare that I look for and remove any spiritual blockages or misalignments. I say your name, hereby declare that I will show compassion for all beings and all the species on the planet. I say your name, will be patient. Hereby declare that I will be patient with my process and others going through their process. Right? I say your name, hereby declare that I will be disciplined and focused when things get challenging. I hereby say your name, hereby declares that I'll listen to my intuition and carry out its instructions when given. I say your name, hereby declare that I will ultimately strive for self-mastery. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And so it is. We're turning over a new leaf, and the time is now. If you want more information about how to solidify yourself and tap into this huge memory field that we're very deficient in, please message me ASAP so I can give you some things to look into and give you some opportunities that's happening in the very near future to help accelerate your process. All right, with that being said, does anybody have any questions? Questions. If you do, go ahead and email me. I'll put my email in here, and of course you can message me on IG or through here, and I'll catch it. But it's best to just email me directly because I kind of tap into this, right? Synchronistic, right? Human.com. All right, we got a lot of gratitude for this message for today. You are worth it. Let me tell you, get on purpose. Get off of whatever you on is not helping you get you where you want to be. Get on purpose so that you can be more, know more, do more, and have more. It's available, but we got to get into another pattern. All right. So with that being said, I am Ken number 239, the 239th expression of the Creator. I empower in order to catalyze as Neb Taharka Kanishkawak. And I look forward to working with you and sharing with you more of this powerful knowledge. And I'll tell you this, we're going to say in Lakesh, which means I'm another you, Alakin, which means you are another me, Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. Thank you for watching. This is going to conclude our session. And stay tuned for the video. We have a powerful video about our telepathic group that I would like to share. It's 1 minute and 12 seconds. We'll see you soon.